Well, welcome to both of you, and thank you for taking time away from your businesses today to be here. You clearly know each other.
Today we're going to find out about the mediation process, how it actually works, how you can access mediation services, and about the unique benefits this way of resolving a dispute offers.
The arrangements did change over time. Email got involved, and then there was no checking back with Sonia, is that right?
Well, the courts list had a delay of 3 years when we started doing mediations, and now the courts list is virtually down to 0. So that these days, if you want a trial in court, and I would suggest you shouldn't, but if you want a trial in court, then you can get one almost straight away. So that's how effective mediation's been. It's reduced the courts list from 3 years to virtually nothing.
For better or for worse, people have disputes. They can fight about all sorts of things, whether it's where the fence is in the backyard, about money, companies can fight about supply contracts. Our society provides us with a mechanism called the court, where you go to court, you ventilate your dispute, and our society provides you with an independent person who's going to make the decision for you, for the two disputing parties. That's what going to court is all about.
Courts operate under what is called the adversarial system. The disputing parties engage lawyers who argue the case for each of their clients in a structured way. The judge or sometimes a jury then decide whether the plaintiff or the defendant's view of events is the truth. The judge then makes an order, usually directing that a sum of money be paid by the loser to the successful party. Let's face it, every one of us will experience conflict in our lives. Conflict can take various forms, but whether it's with a neighbour, a close friend, a member of the family, or a business associate, it's not something anyone enjoys.
Not open yet. Hey, Sonia, what are you doing here so early?
I'm here this early because you didn't answer any of my phone calls last night, and I'm not going to let you get away with this.
Get away with what?
You delivered the wrong food to my convention. I spent last night stuck in a room full of starving cattlemen trying to explain to them why I was serving vegan pastries and these revolting tofu chili concoctions.
What's this, George? Nugget did I know, Lawrence? Geez, Lawrence, it's cold.
Sonia, what are you talking about?
It was a cattlemen's conference, for God's sake. How many vegan cattlemen do you know? I have never been so embarrassed in my life. I can't believe you do something like this to me.
Ongoing disputes can cause us a great deal of stress and anxiety, not to mention wasted time and energy. And in the worst case scenario can lead to lengthy legal proceedings that take their toll on us emotionally and financially.
But you ordered the vegan food, Sonia. Why on earth would we even deliver food like that unless you'd specifically asked for it?
I did not order vegan food. Don't try and blame your mistake on me. I mean, who in their right mind would order vegan food for a cattlemen's conference, huh?
I have no idea who, but that's not my problem. Look, we prepared what you asked us to prepare, we delivered it on time, and this time I'd like to be paid for it.
Don't think this is the end of this. And there's no way I am paying for your mistake. And I hope you realise I won't be using your catering service ever again.
I'd like to see you try, Sonia. We have a contract, a legally binding agreement.
We'll see about that.
If people are going to go to court, then frequently courts require you to mediate before you take up a court's time, and I'm certainly involved in a lot of that work, and it's very worthwhile. We can avoid so many trials by mediating before the case comes on for trial, and we sort it out amicably generally.
We make assumptions and we make inferences all the time, and we have to do that in order to survive, in order to operate. We scan information, we scan listen, we scan read, we scan see. Mediation is both new and old at the same time. It's actually been around for centuries. People have been helping others to solve disputes in a very informal way. What's happening today is the professionalisation of mediation. In other words, it's becoming a profession, which is why you'll find many people going to do training and become accredited as mediators. In fact, there is now a national accreditation scheme for mediators in Australia.
There's simply not a matter that isn't capable of resolution if the parties themselves bring with them the will to negotiate, and of course there is also the assistance and skill of the mediator, which I think is also very important. And so it's always good if you can match the skill of the mediator to the nature of the dispute and give every prospect to early resolution.
When you look at the ability of mediation to assist people in a very short period of time to come to a resolution they can live with at a minimum of cost, clearly, as far as the Law Society is concerned and the Solicitors of Queensland, we believe that mediation is a very effective way to help people who are in conflict to reach a resolution of that dispute.
The success rate speaks for itself. More than 70% settle.
When you take part in mediation, you're taking part in a process in which you are the decision maker. You're deciding the course of the outcome of your own dispute.
Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Sonia.
Oh God, you won't believe what's just happened.
I heard about the vegan disaster. I guess the cattleman just didn't go for the tofu.
It isn't funny. The clients are furious. And he tried to throw me out of his restaurant, can you believe it? And he's insisting that we pay for his mistake.
Some of the situations where mediation is a really much better option than going to court is when there is some kind of an ongoing relationship. For example, a business relationship. If they go to court and have their issues resolved, then there's going to be ultimately a winner and a loser. That won't improve things as far as their working relationship goes in the future. Whereas if they come to mediation, they have a chance to clear up all of the misunderstandings between them.
So what are you going to do?
There's no way I'm paying the little rat, that's for sure.
Well, you might not have a choice.
Are you serious?
These kinds of things are difficult. I mean, when I worked as a lawyer, we used to see this sort of thing all the time. I mean, the fact is, you do have a contract with the guy. There's a few different options, however. You could send John a letter of demand for damages for breach of catering contract.
Or?
You could find another supplier and cut your losses, but you'll probably have to pay the contract cancellation fee.
There's no way I'm paying for his mistake.
Well, you could just refuse to pay, but then you have to be prepared because John might sue you.
Sue me for his stuff up. Typical.
Can't you just talk to him some more? Find out exactly what happened?
There's no way. He's adamant that we pay him, even though I know that it was his mistake, not mine. Well, if he wants to sue me, bring it on. I know I'm going to win anyway.
A court can cost a lot of money,
Well, what other option do I have? I won't be intimidated into paying.
Well, you could always try mediation. A lot of people find that this helps sort things out, eliminates the need for paying huge court costs.
What exactly is mediation? I've heard of it, but I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Instead of lawyers arguing the facts to a judge, a mediator is employed to help get the parties talking to each other. Lawyers can be involved to give advice, but it is the parties themselves who get to have their say. The aim of the mediation session is to allow the parties to work out a solution between themselves. This is the essence of alternative dispute resolution, and in particular, mediation. Surprisingly, a lot of people aren't aware of mediation, or where it's available, what options there are, or how to utilise the various services.
At the Dispute Resolution Centre, mediation is provided free of charge.
From the government's point of view, the most significant provider of mediation services is the Dispute Resolution branch of the Attorney-General's Department.
And we were established to provide the community with an alternative to going to court to resolve their issues. So we will mediate just about any kind of a dispute.
Going outside that, there are the community legal centres, which are staffed by volunteer lawyers. The most famous of those is at Caxton Street, which has been going for many, many years. If you're on legal aid hold a mediation style of service, which is called conferencing these days.
At Legal Aid Queensland, we provide mediation, family dispute resolution services in relation to family law disputes only. Clients who have family law disputes come to Legal Aid Queensland a variety of ways. They can either apply for legal aid for their family law matter, either a parenting or property matter directly, by filling in a legal aid application form, or they might go see a lawyer, and that lawyer might indicate to them that they might qualify for legal aid funding and then lodge an application on their behalf.
As you can see, there are a lot of mediation services out there that are supported by the government. But in some cases, people may choose to access a private practitioner.
One of the ways people find a mediator is by referral. In other words, you gain a reputation as a mediator who does a pretty good job. And that, I think, applies particularly to barristers and solicitors and to the members of the Institute of Arbitrators and Mediators. People know you by reputation and say, well, so-and-so does a good job, so let's use him or her.
One of the choices that people have in mediation is who to bring to the table. Many people will turn up on their own, or they may have friends or other people supporting them. People can also choose to bring a lawyer to the mediation who will support them throughout the process.
So a real benefit for the client in having the lawyer assist is to help them identify the issues and the proper parameters in which a resolution should fit. And the other big advantage is during the mediation process itself, as the matter works its way through, the lawyer who is acting for that party in the dispute can act as a sounding board. That is, the client can say, well, what do you think? What are my options?
So mediation is just like negotiation with an impartial observer.
Exactly.
And the only possible outcome is one that I agree to. It sounds too good to be true. Well, if you think that it'll help, who do I call?
Well, there's a lot of mediation providers around. They're easy to find on the internet.
Okay, I'll hold. How much is this going to cost? I mean, I don't want to pay if I haven't done anything wrong.
As to what the actual cost will be, that will depend on whether the process is first of all through the court process or through a government agency, or the other alternative is where the parties themselves engage a mediator to handle the dispute. If it's the latter, then the parties themselves ordinarily would share the cost of the mediator and they would have the cost of their own lawyer.
So let me get this straight. I can get free mediation, or I can go privately and select my own mediator.
Well, on your own you can't do anything. It takes two to mediate. You have to agree on a mediator.
Oh. Well, we can forget it then. I mean, there's no way that I'm calling up John and begging him to come to mediation with me.
In a lot of instances, parties will choose to access a private mediator. This means not only do they choose who mediates, but they also choose when and where the mediation takes place.
Hello, Sonia? Oh, hi. Look, there is no way I'm going to call him up to ask him if he'll participate.
Look, Sonia, if it's easier for you, I can contact John and see if he's willing to mediate. Okay?
Oh, okay. Oh, look, really, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, look, I'm happy to do it. Like, I'm not the one with anything to hide. Okay.
Consumers react very, very well to mediation. I think in all the time that I've done this work, I don't think anyone has actually refused when they understand the process.
The mediation process is fast. It's very attractive to a client when I say to him, I will be seeing you tomorrow, and by the time we finish tomorrow, your case will be sorted out, hopefully. And that's much quicker than waiting for another 6 months or another year for a trial.
Each person who's coming to the mediation is interviewed separately first so that we can explain what mediation is and what it isn't, and that they will be really clear that it's not court that they're coming to and that it's quite different, that the mediators won't be making decisions for them.
As a mediator, I like to speak with parties separately before the mediation. That way I get a better idea of the type of issues that they're grappling with.
John's really trying to blame me for this. It's typical, he never takes responsibility for his own actions. It'll be exactly the same in the mediation. He is incapable of making decisions. That's why I got married. This dispute is costing me valuable time that I just don't have.
Okay.
I haven't pushed Sonia for payments for the last 6 months, but there's only so much I can take. I'm sick of being Mr. Nice Guy. My wife is doing the books for me now and she needs me to get those accounts in order. I want to make this clear though, I'm willing to try and work things out with Sonia, but if she's not going to be reasonable, then I'll have to take her to court.
John and Sonia have real issues to work out. But as long as they're prepared to negotiate, mediation has a real chance of success.
I'm just really nervous about the whole thing. I mean, what if the mediator takes John's side? I don't want to be made out to be a villain. And I am not looking forward to seeing John after our huge argument.
You'll be fine. Seriously, this process is much less stressful than going to court.
Well, just long as we get the money that she owes us, and make sure the mediator is impartial.
Yeah, of course I will.
I'm a changeless man, even when it's cold, and life is so low. Girl, I'm here with you, and I love you still.
Sonia and John are here.
Thanks, Lynn. Sonia, come in. Nice to see you again. Please take a seat. John?
Hi.
Hi, just over there. Thank you. Well, thank you to both of you for taking time away from your businesses to be here today. Clearly, you know each other, and I've had preliminary discussions with both of you and spoken to both of you on the phone as well. And can I say that those preliminary discussions were very useful, and I'm confident that we can make some progress here today. Shortly, I'll invite each of you to speak about the important issues in this dispute as you see them, and then we'll set up an agenda on the whiteboard for discussion, and we'll work through those issues one by one. Now, earlier in our preliminary discussions, we talked about confidentiality and what that meant, and you agreed that this mediation would be done on a confidential basis. Later on also, I'll be speaking with each of you privately, and those meetings will also be confidential to the people in them. Okay? You'll also see that you have pens and paper in front of you. Now, if you want to speak when someone else is speaking, and that is likely to happen, then I encourage you to write down what it is you want to say, because you'll have every opportunity to speak in this process. Do you have any questions at this stage?
What if I need to call my lawyer?
Ah, here we go.
As we spoke about on the telephone, if you need to consult with your lawyer, either of you, or a support person, we can just take a break and you can use that time to do that. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, Sonia, seeing you initiated this mediation, would you like to start?
Well, it's quite simple, really. John's made me a laughingstock in the event industry. Tofu chili rolls he gives me. Tofu chili rolls for a cattleman's congress. 400 of them. Big, bulky, beef-eating men forced to graze on organic lettuce leaves, nuts and tofu rolls. I was running late, and when I arrived, it was horrendous.
What's going on?
Is this some kind of stupid joke? What on earth are we eating here? This is utterly ridiculous, Sonia, and there will be serious ramifications. Let me be quite clear about that. Absolutely unbelievable.
This is having a major impact on my business. The cattlemen won't talk to me anymore. I'm the talk of the town. Everyone's laughing. I've been advised that I can claim significant compensation.
So, Sonia, you're concerned about the effect this is having on your business, but also on your reputation in the industry.
Yes.
John?
Yeah, well, we haven't even spoken since she stormed out of the restaurant. I don't know what's got into her. She was so rude. You know, it's so rude I'm not sure that I really want to sit here and talk to her right now.
Well, then talk to me. Tell me what happened.
Okay. Well, Sonia and I have done business for a number of years now, and I know her fairly well. And if there's one thing that everybody who knows Sonia will agree on, is that she's tight with money.
What? How dare you?
Oh, it's obvious. Look, she doesn't employ enough staff to coordinate her orders properly and check the orders. You know, I know the Cowboys got bird food, and I know it was a disaster for her, but that's not my fault. You know, clients cancelling on her has nothing to do with my delicious food and everything to do with her poor management.
This is outrageous. How dare you attack me? Wait till people hear about your sloppy business practices.
Ah, you're threatening me?
People come to mediation, as John and Sonia have done, with accusations and demands. Whose fault is it? Who owes money to whom? How much? As a mediator, my job is to help people move beyond those demands. Look, you both clearly feel very strongly about this. Sonia, you're angry at John. You've spoken about your embarrassment, being confronted by industry colleagues and clients. Please. John, you seem utterly frustrated. You spoke about your perceived difficulties with confirming and coordinating orders. At the same time, you've acknowledged that the catering event was a huge disaster for Sonia. And like Sonia has, you also have a business reputation. It seems to me that both of you are really disappointed with what's happened. As a mediator, I encourage parties to talk about what's important for them, what motivates them, what their concerns are, and to really think about what it is they need to talk through to resolve their differences and move forward.
I just can't believe we're sitting like this today. And Sonia, what happened to us? Like, I hardly recognise the Sonia that used to dine in the caravanserai. Remember all those late nights that we had and all the drinks on the house and used to bring in all your new clients? They were good times. You know, all the contacts we made and the business that you brought in. This is brilliant. I can't believe that after just one dinner party, now Peter wants us to do all his corporate catering. All it takes for him is a couple of glasses of red wine and he'll agree to anything.
I toast then to the Caravanserai wine menu, to John's delicious food, and to my powers of persuasion, particularly when it comes to Peter and his corporate credit card.
Cheers.
They were the early days when we both had a lot of energy and we were trying to build up our businesses together. I don't even have time to socialise with John anymore. I'm flat out just trying to make my business work. And when something like this happens, it has serious repercussions, not just for me personally, but for my staff as well. Their jobs depend on my ability to attract clients.
I'm glad you brought that up, Sonia, because I'm trying to make a business work too, and you haven't actually paid your accountant over 3 months. We have another huge catering job coming up in next week, and I need to get those accounts settled. I mean, I'm trying to make a small business work too, and you need money to do that. The beautiful restaurant where Sonia loves to dine does not run on charity.
I know. We both know how important money is. That's why we're here.
It's clear that you both understand the challenges of running a small business. And it also sounds like you've had a very long and fruitful working relationship. Up until now, that is. So I think there's a few things you'll need to talk through today in order to try and sort out this dispute. First, you'll need to deal with the repercussions of this cattleman's catering contract, both financially and also in terms of your reputations. I think you'll also need to talk about how to sort out the accounts between you generally. And you might also want to make some decisions about future arrangements. How does that sound?
Can I add something later?
Yes, either you or John are free to add something to the agenda later. It will serve as a guide for our negotiations. I'll just write it up on the whiteboard, so take a copy for yourselves as we go.
One of the unique aspects of mediation is the opportunity for participants to speak directly with a mediator and to discuss and air their concerns throughout the process. Mediation allows participants to freely express their point of view and only focuses on solutions which both parties agree with.
Okay. Can I ask you both now to go back to before this particular event, to when things were going better for the both of you? And Sonia, can I ask you to tell me about how the business arrangement between the both of you worked?
John never used to worry about unpaid accounts. He trusted me to pay up, and I always did. But now that he's married a bookkeeper, all they think about is money, money, money. When he started this restaurant, his clients were my clients, if you know what I mean. I brought everyone that I knew, professionally and personally, to dine at his restaurant, to build his reputation up as a restaurateur. Many of them became regulars. Did I fuss about money? Did I ask for a commission? Of course I didn't. So, John, this is Ben and Amanda.
G'day. Hello.
I don't mean to embarrass John, but this has got to be the best food in Australia, if not the world.
These guys have come to enjoy themselves, not hear tall stories.
Actually, Amanda runs a function centre down the road from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I promised her that you would give her the best deals in town if she needs a caterer. We built up such a good arrangement. Perhaps it was too good.
Too good?
Hey, Sonia.
Thanks, John. Can I fix you up next week, please?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
All right, have a good one.
See ya. We took it for granted. We didn't take care of it, and we got sloppy about what we did.
Can you tell me about the precise arrangements for ordering?
Well, I can explain that. We get the orders delivered electronically via email, and as you can see here, I've printed it off and the order says vegan food.
You were always meant to check back with me. That was our arrangement.
Sonia, that was our arrangement. You're never available. You haven't checked an order in over a year. And since we started the electronic emailing, why would I check it?
I never agreed to that. You were always meant to check back with me.
It sounds like you've got really different expectations about what the arrangements for confirmation should be. What I'm also hearing is that the arrangements did change over time. Email was introduced, and after that time, verbal confirmations were no longer made with Sonia.
Well, she never complained.
You let me down, John. I had faith in you. I was so sure that you would check every order if it was unclear or seemed strange. We have only one vegan client, and they're not cattlemen. Didn't you even think for a minute that there was something unusual about the ordering vegan food for a cattlemen's conference? I have a whole lot of new staff on, and I haven't had time to train them properly. I can't triple check everything they do.
So there might have been an opportunity for wires to get crossed somewhere?
Yes.
John, how do you think things are going so far?
I don't know. Well, we can talk about it until the cows come home, but is she prepared to pay her account? Like, I'm under serious pressure at home to get that money.
Okay, so getting the accounts sorted is your priority?
Yeah, well, put it this way, unless I sort that out, then there's no point in going home.
Okay, well, negotiation's a bit about give and take. Assuming Sonia were to move on the accounts, what might you be able to do for her in return?
But it's not my fault. I mean...
What do you think Sonia's worried about right now?
Her reputation? Losing clients? Look, if we could sort the money out, then I could probably be more proactive in supporting her with new clients.
Look, I can understand that there may have been some confusion over the booking order, but I never would have ordered vegan food from John. The only client that requested it is the Sustainable Earth Group, and I go through a different caterer for them. Oh. I guess the order went to the wrong caterer after all. But I can't take the entire loss.
Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, Sonia, you're prepared to make some concessions, but you need to see some movement from John as well?
Outcomes achieved through mediation are very different from those obtained in court. Most significantly, both parties must agree to any resolution reached in the mediation process.
The beauty of mediation is that when parties are sitting in a confidential environment, they can agree to anything they like as long as it's lawful, of course. In other words, parties who have a dispute between themselves can regulate not just the outcome of that particular dispute, but can regulate, for example, their ongoing commercial relationship, their ongoing personal relationship, and so on. That's the beauty of mediation. As long as the outcome's lawful, they can agree to anything they like.
John and Sonia have voiced many valid concerns throughout this mediation, and they've done a lot of negotiating. Now they're ready to make an agreement. In this instance, John and Sonia agree on financial terms. More importantly, however, they agree to continue doing business together in the future. All right, let's see how far we've got. In relation to the first issue, Sonia, you've agreed to meet John's costs for catering to the Cattlemen's Convention. And in terms of reputation, you've both developed a strategy to promote the other person's business to your own clients, as you did before, in fact. In terms of the accounts, Sonia, you've agreed to pay the most outstanding account forthwith, within 7 days, on the condition that John extends credit for the other accounts for 45 days. Is that right? Okay, and what remains is what decisions you want to make about future arrangements.
Well, what about the orders?
Well, I think that we should put a new system in place. What do you think?
Yes. And then get 3 or 4 of them going.
What about if we come in over?
That's good.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Yeah, okay. Because then we can make things right.
Still friend.
So that's what you're about the Okay, now that you've sorted out this final point about ordering arrangements in the future, I think you have a complete agreement. I'll have these notes typed up and sent out to you for checking. So congratulations, you've worked very, very hard. John?
Thank you. Thanks
And Sonia?
Thanks, Sonia. I didn't think that anything so positive could come out of this. I mean, when it all flared up, I was certain that I would not ever work with John again. The mediation really helped. I was able to air my concerns and reach a really good agreement. I guess my sense of self-righteousness got the better of me. I get this kind of tunnel vision and I can't see the other person's point of view. The mediator really helped with that. She helped me to save face and helped me out of a really difficult situation.
It's consolidated my business relationship with Sonia now, and who knows, maybe in the future, now that we've cleared the air, we might be able to develop some great new clients together. Just no more vegan food.
So there you have it. Mediation can be a useful tool for dealing with all sorts of personal and professional disputes, and can be instrumental in preserving vital relationships which could otherwise have been destroyed. Conflicts may be an inevitable part of life, but they don't have to end in costly legal battles.